Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see this our town of Halloween. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. Halloween, you're canceled. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Like many people, I saw the news yesterday. Los Angeles put out a public service announcement, a PSA for the people short on time. That Halloween, you canceled. You canceled Halloween. You canceled. Okay? They put out, Jesus, did I close all the fucking tabs I had open? I had all these cool tabs. I was going to be reading to you guys and shit. But Los Angeles County, this was in Los Angeles, which I assume other counties will follow suit. And it's just interesting because I don't know what the right answer is, like most times in my life. It says, novel coronavirus COVID-19 from the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. Guidance for celebrating Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. As fall approaches, families start to plan for the upcoming holiday season, beginning with Halloween. Since some of the traditional ways in which this holiday is celebrated does not allow you to minimize contact with non-household members. Non-household members. That sounds like you're talking about someone's cat or something. Like household members. I don't know why that's weird to me. Anyway, we'll put a pin in that. Maybe come back. Now, moving on. It's important to plan early and identify safer alternatives. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Health would like to share information on how to take part in this holiday in a manner that reduces your risk of developing COVID-19. Okay? Since some of the traditional ways in which this holiday is celebrated are not permitted this year, consider some safer alternatives that are listed below. Okay? Halloween activities, not permitted. Door-to-door trick-or-treating is not allowed because it can be very difficult to maintain proper social distance on the porches and at front doors, especially in neighborhoods that are popular with trick-or-treaters. Now, I'm not going to lie. Bars. Flawless Barack Obama bars right there. Okay? Trunk-or-treating. Events where children go from car to car instead of door to door to receive treats are also not allowed. Man, I'm good. I'm the best there ever was. Gatherings or parties with non-household members are not permitted, even if they are conducted outdoors. Carnivals, festivals, live entertainment, and haunted house attractions are not allowed. We're done with this gimmick. We didn't even plan to do that with an accent. Did we plan that, Evan? No, we didn't plan that, Evan. What is permitted? Online parties, contests. This is where it gets condescending to me. It goes, what is permitted? Like, that's the part of this list is I'm like, all you got to do is say what's not permitted, you dumb fuck, because technically everything else in the world is permitted, okay? Like, if you just put not permitted, save yourself some fucking time. You canceled because you could be working on other shit rather than making a list of what people could do. It's patronizing, it's condescending, and it's un-American, okay? What is permitted? Online parties / contest. E.g. is E.g. example? What is E.g.? Someone get back to me. I don't have time to Google it. Costume or pumpkin carving. It's patronizing. It's just like, hey, but you know what you can do? You can do a costume party online, and everybody who's all these kids know TikTok, okay? They know how the internet works. This is some 65-year-old crypt keeper typing this on a goddamn typewriter, being like, you can do a costume party or a pumpkin carving. As long as you finish your chores and water all the cows. Sorry, old people. I did not mean to go that hard at you right now. Car parades that comply with public health guidelines for guidance for vehicle-based parades. Vehicle-based parades. What the fuck does this even mean? Drive-by events or contests where individuals dress up or decorate their vehicles and drive by judges that are appropriately physically distanced. You canceled. You canceled Los Angeles Public Health. Why did it put judges in parentheses? And why is one of my ears closed? You guys ever had that shit? Where you like can't hear out of one of your ears? Shit's so weird. Unless it's something with my headphones. But I feel like I at one point during this podcast, I just lost hearing in one ear. What if I just recorded myself having a stroke and you guys just saw me turn into fucking Joe Biden by the end of this, where I'm just like, yeah, probably shouldn't have said that. You know, never mind. And I'm just like, hey guys, welcome to 60 Minutes and Kevin. Fucked up. Anyway, sorry, old people. I keep going at you. Judges that are appropriately physically distanced. Even that, the way it sounds like someone needed to fit a certain amount of words on this. Like the person was just like, hey, make sure this shit has 1,000 words. And they're like, judges that are socially distanced. Nah, judges that are appropriately physically distanced. Anyway. Drive-through events where individuals remain in their vehicle and drive through an area with Halloween displays. Okay, this is an accident waiting to happen, okay? Because you got to think, what's worst case scenario by creating this? Listen, people can't get mowed down when they're on the sidewalk with other people on the sidewalk. What the human speeds tops out at what? I'm going to say 18 miles per hour. Maybe get Usain Bolt to kind of break that average. But you can't run people over if you get scared by a Halloween display. Okay, cool. We're going to make drive-by haunted houses. Check this out. When someone starts running at your car with a goddamn Freddy Krueger mask or a Jason mask and a fake chainsaw. I've been in those Halloween places in fucking Magic Mountain. I know what's going to happen. People are going to... Just fucking... It's going to sound... They're not even going to need Halloween music with the... that little kids are doing on the sidewalk after the car comes through. You know, that is such a bad idea. Drive-through events where individuals remain in their vehicles and drive through an area with Halloween displays. Drive-in events where individuals can receive a treat bag limited to commercially packaged non-perishable treats. What are you doing? Listen, if you want people to snap back at these rules, tell them what kind of treats they could have, okay? Listen, before, like, just don't tell people what they can have, okay? Next, you're going to be like, okay, low in sugar, Snickers, and, you know, maybe something that's a little more socially inclusive, okay? Maybe we make sure we can taste the rainbow. We make sure we have Snickers. Take it easy on the white mocha, okay? We don't want any of the mixed people thinking that we're celebrating them, okay? Because they're an abomination. Because that's what you make me feel like, social media. There was my stroke again. Social media, that's what you make mixed people feel like, okay? The boy without the culture. I'm on one this morning. I'm sorry, I am on one this morning. Halloween movie nights at drive-in theaters. Must comply with public health drive and movie theater guidance. Halloween-themed meals at outdoor restaurants. Must comply with the restaurant protocol. Halloween-themed art installations at an outdoor museum. This is the stupidest one, was dressing up homes and yards with Halloween-themed decorations. Oh, thanks, Los Angeles, for telling me I can put out Halloween decorations on my own fucking property. Even though I'm renting. Besides the point. You're not my landlord. Trying to be a lord of lands and shit. Man. Okay. And then it just goes into the rest of normal coronavirus social distance bullshit. And I say bullshit with all due respect to the process of social distancing and wearing your mask and all of that. I talk shit about this because I'm just like, this is, no shit guidelines. Listen, you ever had it with a kid who was a trouble kid? When I would coach sports and boxing, I had to deal with some kids who, there was a time when I was basically running a boxing gym because my trainer was out of town a lot, and somehow I just got roped into getting a key in coaching. And I would have to deal with these troublemaker kids who didn't want to follow, they just wanted to fight, and they didn't want to follow the structure of the workouts, and they would mess up the rotation, they were poison in the water well, they'd fuck up the nucleus, you got to get them out. But I took a different approach because you can't do that with kids. You have to teach them. And one of the ways that I would get them to help and be part of the solution was I would give them responsibility, and I would treat them with responsibility, and not treat them like they were so like stupid little animals. Okay, because you see some parents with their kids and they treat them like animals. They treat them like wild animals that you gotta just harness and tase them like you're herding cats. Just bzz, bzz, bzz. You treat someone a certain way and they're gonna act that way. So I would go to these kids and I'd be like, hey, listen, we have this session we're trying to work through right now. I could really use your help. You have a great jab, you have a great right hand. I need you to help set an example for some of the other kids that aren't sure what they're doing. If you can, when the clock starts, start working the bag so they know that it's time to work the bag. If you see them taking breaks, let's tell them, yo, stop taking the break. We're working right now. You got 30 seconds in between the round. And I literally would give them a responsibility and treat them with respect. When they would come to the gym, I'd go up to them, I'd greet them, shake their hand, get them a water, whatever. And you treat them like they're actually a big part of the gym. And not talk down to them, not go in there and be like, hey, you better not mess up class today. I'm sorry, I just hit my microphone. Be like, you better not mess up class today. Use take two. And it literally would put them, since you treat them with that kind of respect, it literally would make them a better person. And if you give people responsibility and trust, I think for the most part, people are going to listen and they're going to want to be part of the solution. If you instilled with people like, hey, what's a way that we could all do this and work together to still have Halloween or follow guidelines and get to celebrate it while being safe? What do you guys think? Is there certain ways, that we can minimize and actually involve people with this request? Because it turned into something, when politics turned into like money, where it was all just pushing an agenda and making money, it somehow turned into a dictatorship, that was fitting, where politicians stopped working for the people that it governed and it started working for itself. And for some reason, it thinks that the people work for the government or are supposed to be, they're supposed to they're completely in charge. I think the power is in the people, and this is why the founding fathers, say what you will with how they acted during those times. Okay, it was a different time period. They had an ingenious perspective on what America was supposed to be: the land of the free, the home of the brave, where you could have liberty. And your government was never supposed to enslave you. It was never supposed to shackle you to a certain thing. And it feels like that's what is happening, especially in California, where you're getting people creating these rules that I think are overstepping the way they should be doing it. It's not that this is terrible, these guidelines, because something has to be done. Obviously, we have to adjust to the current situation, but I think there's a better way of going about it. Because just from the way people have, the backlash, that's what I've seen all over social media with this public health records coming out. I think if you give people respect and don't treat them like they're stupid, and not doing this, what is permitted, online parties, contests, I think you're going to get people to want to be part of the solution and want to actually do something good. No one actively wants to catch coronavirus, okay? And it turns into this thing when you start telling people they can't do something. Example, me. Listen, part of the reason why I do so much different shit is because I'm petty. And I've had a lot of people tell me I can't do certain things. I had people tell me I shouldn't do a one-person podcast. Hey, go fuck yourself. And I think that's just natural human nature. To when people tell you no, you're like, okay, that means yes to me. But I don't know what the solution is. You know, I don't necessarily disagree with everything in here. But I think there has to be a better way of doing this rather than putting out a bunch of do's and do nots if you want people to actually comply. But Halloween, you cancel. You canceled. I don't really celebrate Halloween anymore anyway. But it's important for the kids, right? It's a good time. Obviously, it is a very unsocial distanced festivity, but I think there's a way you can get around it. You know, a certain way we can do it. The kids are wearing masks, for God's sake, okay? Like, just why not do that? Why not actually spin this into a good thing where you're like, hey, not only are we going to celebrate Halloween, but we're going to use it as an example of following mask protocol. Why don't you teach your kids about the mask and the transfer of COVID-19 and these illnesses by make it an awareness, by having a costume that follows the mask protocol. Get creative with it, okay? And then it actually gets people excited about the mask. And not only that, you're spreading awareness of what the mask safety is. Maybe tell people, hey, create a costume that follows the social distance and mask requirements, then post a picture and then use a hashtag, wear your mask. Boom. You're welcome, Newsom. You no longer cancel because I'm here to help you. Okay? But that's not a bad idea. But Newsom, you still canceled. Fucking bullshit. Gavin Newsom looks like just like the nephew of the henchman. Like he's Nancy Pelosi's nephew. He looks like an evil nephew. He looks like he looks like the Antichrist or something. Like, for sure, he's playing the weird businessman lawyer in the movie that does a lot of cocaine and tries to, like, I don't know. You could see him in, like, The Equalizer or some shit, doing some very nefarious activity. You know what else I realized last night? This is something that I've been thinking about. This is completely off topic, kind of. But I was thinking, I've been debating if I'm going to get the flu shot this year. I normally don't get it. I haven't got it since I was in nursing school, I don't think. But I do get sick sometimes with the flu or some illness around wintertime. I usually only get sick, real sick, like once or twice a year. But I've thought about it because it is going to be COVID season and flu season, and that's where I think there is going to be a surge, and it's going to be dangerous. We kind of have had this grace period with summer and everything. But with the changing of the seasons and just the natural inclination for people to get sick during the winter, I think it is going to be possibly a good solution to get the safe vaccine. Speaking of that, they're stopping the clinical trials on, I forgot which the one that's being created in the UK and also with Oxford. They had patients having an adverse reaction to the vaccine, and now they're stopping the trials. Yeah, no shit. No shit you're having adverse reactions. This is what happens when you try to rush a vaccine to human clinical trials. Sounded smart as shit saying clinical trials, human clinical trials. Keep that shit on the squeaks for a while, you know? Everybody's all about animal safety and all animal lives matter up until they got to start testing vaccines, and you're like, yeah, use the mouse. I'm okay with it. Maybe throw a couple pigs in there. I'm okay with it. But what I was going to say about the flu shot and everything, I haven't gotten sick really, like, at all. Sometimes I'll get sinus things since I have been socially distanced from people. And it makes me realize that y'all are the dirty motherfuckers attacking my immune system all the time, okay? Doing jujitsu, you dirty ass motherfuckers, coughing all in my face, licking my ears and shit, huh? What? Yeah, that happens. Whispering sweet nothings as we grind our cups together, huh? What? I miss you, love you, what? I'm gay, huh? Listen, I just miss jujitsu. That's the moral of the story, okay? I miss sweating and spooning with my boys, you know? Spooning with the boys. What did I have here? I saw that Keeping Up with the Kardashians is finally ending. Listen, this is the only good news to come out of this pandemic is that The Mandalorian season 2 is coming back and Keeping Up the Kardashians, you canceled. And sadly, I doubt it was canceled. I bet they're just tired of doing this show and they're going to spin off into other shows. They're all going to get their own shows. And that's what's sad. But what's crazy to me is the amount of demand for these people, the Kardashians. Listen, somebody's watching it. I'm sure my friends somewhere secretly they're watching it because there's no way it's the most viewed show of all time because everybody hates it. It's so sad. It's crazy that this is reality. God, like how is that the number one show? And how is it that they make makeup and workout routines and protein powders and all this stuff and everybody gobbles it up just, and they're so fucking fake. Fake asses, fake lips, fake legs. It's literally all fake. So much Photoshop. And girls just buy all that makeup. They think they're going to look like the Kardashians. They think that if they get lip injections, they're going to look like the Kardashians. And here's the other thing. It matters how much you pay for things. And some of y'all be getting them lip injections and shit off Groupon when the Kardashians are going to like the cutting edge, some fucking former Nazi scientist that used to work for NASA to give them their lip injections. They're like getting that top tier shit where you almost can't tell. But then you look at pictures from before and after, like Kylie, you're just like, holy shit. Modern medicine had another stroke. I saw also, I don't know why I don't know if we should spend time on this, but I saw this, that the Oscars are creating more inclusive requirements. Now, the Oscars can go fuck themselves in general. You know why? Because Leonardo DiCaprio did not win Best Actor for The Wolf of Wall Street. He has been boycotted over and over and over again. And I don't know why, because I'm like, Leonardo DiCaprio is the greatest actor there ever was. That's just my opinion. But the Oscars are creating a more inclusive requirements. I don't know if you guys know this, but it was something crazy. Like, I think when you do anything for the sake of inclusion, like inclusion for the sake of inclusion is such a bad idea. It really is. There was a crazy thing how one year people talked about the Oscars that only one non-white person, POC for you snowflakes, won an Oscar. And then the next year, it was something like 14 out of 16 of them were non-white people. And it's just like, is it that? Like, Hollywood is so, this is why I don't get why people listen to Hollywood people for their political beliefs. They're so like virtue signaling, and like they pander to where the money's at. They pander just to keep their jobs and in the good graces. And it's gotten so sniffing everybody's farts and like, oh my God, we are so amazing. just look at us, that it's starting to eat its own tail. Like, it's just like, this is insane. It's pure insanity. And if you just stay in that world, you think that's normal. That's the dangerous thing. That's why I think when you start seeing some of these crazy leftist beliefs or right beliefs of social stuff, you're like, you're around way too many people that agree with you. You're around way too many people that agree with you. And that's a problem. I have friends that disagree with me, that will argue with me, and it's good. It's good. Like, I take a lot of stuff and I'll throw it off of people just to get a different opinion on things before I make decisions. You have to talk to people who have a contrasting view to you. Because if you just talk to people who only like what you like and believe what you believe, you guys are going to get so far down a path where you're going to start believing some crazy shit. Every day you move farther from God. Move farther from God. But the Oscars being more inclusive for the sake of being inclusive, I think it's counterintuitive. I think there needs to be not so much inclusion for the sake of inclusion of Oscar nominations. There has to be more opportunity given at a base level for people to create what they want to create. I think that's where the real change happens. It's not who wins. It's not going, listen, we have to check off these boxes of what movies, this might be a better film and these might be better actors, but this one fits in this inclusion and we need to meet this quota. So we're not going to pick which one is best for and deserves the win. We're going to pick which one is best for inclusion for the sake of it. It needs to be given at a lower level of opportunity to showcase that they're the best for it. I actually had a bit right before the pandy hit where I was saying that, like, I don't believe in equality. I believe in equal opportunities, but I don't think I should get the same court time as LeBron James in Game 7. Even I would be like, I appreciate the coach, but I should just cheer. Like, you get people in situations where they either actually don't want to be there, or you're taking away opportunities from other people or what people deserve. And it's going to create, this is what it all comes down to. We're creating an artificial reality. Boom. That's what it is. With moves like this, with inclusive requirements. No, we need to figure out a way to give people funding to create stuff that is Oscar worthy. There's great stories out there. I don't like pandering to different racial backgrounds to be like, oh, this is great because this is a virtue signaling thing to say is great. But there's great directors, writers, movies, actors of all walks of life. And we need more opportunity for them to showcase that. There's those kids in Africa. I follow them on Instagram. They recreate movies and scenes down to a T with just what's available to them. They live in dirt villages with, they'll write on cardboard. They'll use for big panning shots. They'll have action figures as crowds of people. They'll use toy cars for car scenes, and they'll literally recreate actual movies with it, scene for scene. It's pretty dope because they'll put side-by-side shots of what they did. And it's kids who are like 8 or 9, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. And that's what, like, creativity is supposed to be. That's all it's supposed to be, is creating for the sake of creating, and giving people opportunity. And one of the great things that I saw Netflix do is they just sent a bunch of red cameras, which are like cinema cameras, to these kids. So these kids are getting the opportunity to start filming more high quality stuff. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And that's what we need more of. We need people to have more of an opportunity to create stuff, rather than just inclusion for the sake of inclusion. Anyway, but why I'm commenting on Hollywood bullshit, it's so full of shit that, I don't know. Watch, this is going to stop me from, like, getting a role in Star Wars one day. Which would be a dream role. What else is going on? Oh, man, I think that's it. Well, no, we're not going to end on that one. I saw that The Walking Dead, they're announcing their finale. Listen, Walking Dead was mind-blowing to me. That first season, I fucking loved it. Now that we're living through an apocalypse, it's always better than the movies. The series is ending, and I think it's time. The Walking Dead, those first few seasons were amazing. And I get that they had a comic book to follow, you know. I wish they would have stuck with it. And this is kind of where sometimes you gotta go home with the girl you brought to the dance, you know. You gotta stick to those comic books. Don't get your ego involved where you're like, you know what? I'm tired of people saying that it's only good. Like you're listening to the haters where you go, I'm tired of people saying that it's only good because of the comic books. I'll show them that I can do this. Or you just from like, I want to do more than that. But that's what got the show to the dance, was following that storyline. And then it started killing certain characters and doing certain things that kind of changed the whole course of the show and the story. So then you kind of muddied it down. You kind of shit in the bathtub a little bit, okay? And I feel like there were some seasons where they just phoned it in. They were like, yeah, you know, Negan season was amazing. Shouldn't have killed Glenn, but that is what it is. Negan, my favorite character in The Walking Dead currently. I love a redemption story. I love when a character has arcs and when a character, you hate them, and then they humanize them. Oh, I love it when they do that. But it was around for too long. And here's the issue, though. They're doing a CAAARL, and they watered it down, I think, when they made the Fear the Walking Dead. They capitalized on it. They spread themselves a little too thin with Fear the Walking Dead, which that first season of Fear the Walking Dead is great. I love it. Based in LA is great. They could have easily done it. I think they could have crossed over even more. But now they're starting a new one. I don't know, you know, it was at one point like the biggest show of all time for AMC. It was huge. But now they're making a new Walking Dead where it's like you follow these kids through it from a different part of the world. And then they're also making a Daryl and Carol. It's funny, I was going to make a combination of their names, but it still would come out Daryl or Carol. Whoa. The Carl. Anyway, Carol. Anyway, crazy. Maybe you call him Daka. A Daka spinoff. Daryl and Carol. And it's going to be a continuation. So it's like, okay, all we have left, these are the only characters you guys really care about. This is the last two of them. So we're just going to kill the show and keep moving forward with them, which I think is cool. But I think what made The Walking Dead great was Rick Grimes. I think the show really lost a lot of people when it killed Carl. You know, I don't think he was a good death. Why it happened, you don't know. I don't know. Maybe he requested it, wanted to be a kid, wanted to do other projects. I get that was like his first huge role as a kid, you know. You want to kind of spread your wings a little bit. But I think that's where people started losing it, was when they started reintroducing, like, I hate when shows do this. They kill off. The Walking Dead's done it the most. Oh, you love a character? Boom, they're canceled. And by canceled, I mean killed. You can't keep killing off these characters and introducing new characters. Like you gotta spoon feed me, baby. You know, with that the Walking Dead characters. Don't take them all from me. We need that nucleus of characters to keep us invested. We care about them. It's all about character development, all about keeping people committed to these characters that they love. That's why there was so much, always, if Daryl dies, we riot. And here, in defense of the directors, the writers of the show, Daryl was not in the comic book. So that was a completely new character they introduced, and great on them. It was a great character. But even Merle, Daryl's brother, another example of a character that was terrible, that you hated, that became good, and you loved him by the end. And it made that moment so much more powerful when, spoiler alert, Daryl had to kill him. But people care about that nucleus. They don't want all these new characters. They would throw all of a sudden 5 new characters to you and just put so much time and effort on them. And we're like, we don't give a shit about them. Okay, you're trying to get us to tune in every week and care about these brand new peoples. We want Rick back, okay? Even though his little daughter was pretty cool. But that's it, people. That's it today. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the show yet on Apple or Podcast, Spotify, please do so. It helps. If you haven't left a review on iTunes, go on iTunes. Help your boy out. If you have to shop on Amazon, go in the YouTube description. Use my Amazon affiliate links. I got a percentage of that, baby. I keep feeding Mono over here. And remember, no matter what, I love you.